Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up, it's your girl Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell next to it on YouTube if you want your notifications or the immediate subscription thing going down in your podcast on your phone. I don't know why I just veered off my usual intro, man. What the heck? It's a new day, trying new things.
Usually have it, pretty tight.
Hit the subscribe button. Leave us a rating, review, or a comment if you're listening to us in the audio realm.
Yes, that'd all be great.
Do it now.
Please.
Do it now.
Please.
Anyways, it's Monday. Full Gear was a blast on Saturday.
That was a fun show.
This coming weekend, of course, we've got War Games.
No, it's not. It's the weekend after. It's 23rd.
Oh, that's nice. I thought it was this coming weekend.
No, it's weekend after. We get SmackDown, War Games, and then Survivor Series.
Lacey will be happy about that one because yesterday I was like, "Hey, this coming weekend,
I'm gone the whole weekend." No, you get a reprieve,
a respite
of a weekend, and then that weekend, and then the following weekend's the weekend after Thanksgiving. We won't come in at all, so that's good.
Nice, cool.
So, unless they decide to stream the Triple Mania show on December 1st.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Which I don't know if that's happening.
I'm all about that.
If it happens.
Are you going to do Black Friday? You want to come out and do Black Friday?
No,
with me?
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be here.
Go out and about.
We're going to Southern California for Thanksgiving.
I'll go down there, and then you and I will do Black Friday.
It's not worth it.
No, not good.
I don't care for Black Friday. I don't like going out.
Me neither. It's terrible. I did it once. I did it one time with Lace just to be, just to see what it was like. We went a couple hours after everything officially opened. We went like at midnight or so.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It really wasn't that big of a deal.
No,
we went to Best Buy. There's a lot of people there.
I just prefer to do my shopping on the computer on my phone.
Heck yeah, man. I don't have to deal with anybody.
Yeah.
It's
Why would you have to go out and deal with a throng of people when you can sit at home and just deal with maybe at most like backed up websites?
I've seen too many videos of people going
trampled
over like a $30 discount on a stupid 24-inch TV.
I know. It's
like,
not
who
worth
cares?
It. It's not worth it. It's not worth it in my estimation.
It's like the Purge, though. You go out there, you can just commit any crime you want.
That's why I don't like Black Friday.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on.
Because you're the hunted. I am the hunter.
No, it's because I'd rather be sleeping at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah,
at least in theory.
I'd rather be out sticking people
than
with a rusty screwdriver,
having to fight for my life, to save $15 on a computer monitor I don't even need,
and get stabbed by me. Anyways, so yeah, good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend.
Yeah,
let's hop right. Oh wait, new patrons.
Yes, do that, please.
Boy, I'm all over the map today, dude.
That makes both of us.
Patreon meet. That's what I put in my thing here. All right, here we go. Man, we got some new patrons. Of course, we're on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We got all sorts of great content over there. That's right. Bonus content, $5 a month. Gets you 5 bonus episodes every single week. Let's see here. We have Green Lantern 223, Matthew Robertson, James Knobloch, Nemerensis, Brandon Cook, Doodley McBrodia, and then Music Man 6113.
Thank you so much.
Who came out to join me in my NBA 2K20 adventures. The Slow Wolfpack rallied for a much-needed win after a nasty skid. We had like 3 losses in a row, man. It was pretty brutal. Anyways, I got the channel. It's on Twitter, MF Steve here. There's a link, pinned tweet. Check it out if you like the NBA stuff. It's a blast. You want to hear me curse a lot at Mark Gasol? Trash.
Isn't he on your team?
Yeah. I curse at him all the time.
Why is he trash?
Because he'll miss these point-blank shots, man. He's garbage. He's not really helpful to my team.
I feel like it's all user error.
Everybody's on the trading block except for McGrady, Nash, and Shaquille O'Neal.
But Shaq,
and Blake. Shaq and Blake are getting along wonderfully.
Shaq was on the trading block at one point, so he actually learned how to play the game.
Now he's a beast. Now he's a monster.
Once he learned how to
I don't even know. What does Gasol even do? He can't hit, in the game anyways, he can't hit a mid-range. And his low post game is terrible.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I think good footwork.
The AI defense in that game is terrible too.
Well, I mean, that should be advantage you then.
No, like if I'm not defending the ball, like nobody else on my team does anything.
Gotcha.
Stand around.
Gotcha. All right.
We did on Saturday morning. Anyways.
Hey, man, I was out there hustling on defense.
You know who's terrific, though? You know who does hustle on defense? Cedric Alexander. He talked to Alex McCarthy.
He's one of my favorites.
He talked to Alex McCarthy of Talk Sports. And, of course, a couple of weeks back, there was that report from the Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer.
Can't really believe anything he says these days.
Whoa! Bombshell from Larson. Yeah, man, he's got a little bit of cleaning up to do after that Seth Rollins debacle.
Seth Rollins thing.
Maybe the same person who who fed him that crap info, fed him this info on Cedric Alexander because he essentially said Vince made the call to bury Cedric Alexander. Of course, he had sort of received a bit of what looked like a push like a month ago.
Yeah, he had a feud with AJ Styles that while there was a lot of matches that he all lost, I think he pinned him once in a tag match. He got repeated U.S. title shots. Seemed like they could have kept it going and then just kind of ended.
Yeah.
So just based on the fact that, because we heard Heyman really likes Cedric. Vince, apparently not so much. Vince made the call, stop pushing this guy.
There's two people that confuse the crap out of me. Number one, apparently, look, and you never know who's actually who's right about this stuff, but Paul Heyman big on Aleister Black. Let me ask you something. Does Aleister Black appear to you to be the kind of guy who, creatively speaking, where he is right now, that the guy who's the executive director of Raw really, really likes? No. He's been stuck in that broom closet for God knows how long saying the exact same thing. And then every once in a while, they'll wheel him out for a squash match against a jobber.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy has been given a couple of wins, one of them against Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
But anyways, when this was brought up to Cedric, he said this. And this transcript was on Talk Sports, it was, I think, right?
Yeah, Alex McCarthy tweeted this out.
Okay, cool. He said, Cedric responded with this. Of course, it annoyed me. When you hear things like that, it doesn't help my brand. You know what I mean? Regardless of how you feel about it, whether you think AJ buried me or not, it was fine. I knew what it was. It was great matches. I got to show a lot of my personality and my in-ring style. A loss isn't a burial. It's AJ Styles. How is that a burial? He's one of the holy trinities of wrestling to me with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels, so to lose to essentially a wrestling deity is fine by me. I read comments like, Cedric is great, but they're burying him. But it's you must have checked that match. You must have checked the match out then. It was good, right? You can't get buried losing to AJ. You just can't. There's a reason they're putting me in the ring with AJ Styles. Now, the number one go-to on Twitter for a lot of wrestling fans, as soon as somebody takes an L. Buried. We hear that term way too often.
Yeah.
However, that being said, the treatment of Cedric does seem to be indicative of a larger problem with WWE and Vince McMahon in particular.
It's more through a follow-through on any sort. For example, this AJ story he was in. It happened. And you would think from there, based on the outcome of said story, both parties would benefit from the story being told and therefore move on to larger things.
Right.
AJ kind of has. He's in this whole NXT invasion thing. He was just on NXT this Wednesday. The OC are the workhorses of Raw. Mm-hmm. They're on every episode, having a match.
They're the guys who they sent to NXT.
Yeah, being in multiple segments.
Yeah.
You'd think the same would happen with Cedric coming out of a feud with AJ, even though he was on the losing end, because he did get to showcase his immense talents. He did put on some really fun matches, apart from that one weird squash match kind of thing at the pre-show to a pay-per-view, where AJ just basically destroyed him.
Yeah.
But then the following match, it was actually a more competitive contest.
Well, he also had that really big moment at the end of Raw where he was the guy to scale the Tron and then come off and leap onto everybody or whatever it was.
It's a problem where Vince, creative, whoever it may be, doesn't know how to follow through on anything resembling momentum. A wrestler would develop momentum from a storyline, and rather than capitalizing on momentum and elevate that wrestler further, they just move on to the next thing and kind of forget about it.
Well, there is also, again, it's coming from Dave Meltzer, and look, man, it's obvious the dude has some sources there. Evidently, some of them have their own agendas, as evidenced by the Seth Rollins thing. But he mentioned something about the Street Profits and Humberto Carrillo. They were supposed to get the win on the OC on Raw, 2 weeks ago, whatever, or 2 weeks ago or last week, whatever it was. And then they had to flip that script because then it was decided that the OC was going to take on the Undisputed Era. They couldn't have a loss for them. And, it's this sort of the same old story with WWE is simply this. It's long-term booking issues. It doesn't exist. They do not book long-term. They have one plan going in, and then they think to them, and then Vince says, oh, wait, well, hold on. I want to do this next week now, and so we're going to change this. And then what happens to Humberto Carrillo and Street Profits? The Street Profits come out, and everybody's chanting, we want the smoke, right? They are, like, in the little time that they've been on main roster actually having matches, which is like 2 weeks now.
Have gotten over tremendously.
They've gotten over tremendously, and they've been, milling about on Raw doing the
Greek chorus thing for a while.
Yeah. But, like, and maybe this was a sign that was actually kind of working. You get to see them. Finally, they come out for a match. They're, wildly talented as a tag team in the ring. They have these really fun matches. The crowd's really into it. They found something they can really grasp onto. And then they take this loss to the OC, and people are just left wondering, okay, well, why? You've got 3 of these future cornerstones, Humberto and the Street Profits, and it'd be like the perfect time for even like a fluke roll-up win.
I know.
And that crowd would be buzzing.
I know. There's a way to book that so the OC can take the loss but not look weak,
Yeah. The OC has enough history behind it. I know, granted, a pair that definitely has been, joked about, or not joked about as having been buried, Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
It's like, they're
the best tag team in the world. They just won that title.
Yeah, they have their own history with the term. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. Do you think what do you think about the Cedric thing? What do you think about him talking about this? His take on it?
Well, I mean,
It's very diplomatic, obviously.
Totally is.
He's a professional.
Understand his perspective. While he's been in WWE for a number of years, he's still relatively new to Raw. Mm-hmm. He has been in some high-profile situations, and then it's been an issue where he's been put in situations where he could benefit immensely. In chat, they're bringing up that kind of 2-week period where he was involved in some kind of thing with Roman, the whole janitor bit.
Oh yeah,
that was dropped,
and even that was supposedly wasn't that like a last minute addition? It was going to be a rando. It was going to be like a local guy who does the janitor thing, and they're like, well, why don't you just put Cedric in there? That'd be kind of cool. And then it was just dropped, and that's the number
problem.
one issue with WWE, and that's kind of historic. Is just all this stuff. They've got so much talent. And seemingly there's one person who knows kind of what to do with it, and that's Triple H, and he's relegated just to NXT. I'm not going to say relegated.
No, I think that's what he wants to do.
That's what he wants to do. Yeah. And then he's even said across the rest of WWE, he has a bevy of other responsibilities that are pretty high profile. But yeah, it's like it's this Vince thing where it's like, he names Heyman the executive director of Raw, and even Heyman's not perfect. I mean, he's the one probably responsible for the whole Lana Rusev thing, which is a mess.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
But it's like, well, yeah, Heyman's really high on Aleister Black. He's stuck in a closet. Like, there's no bigger example of one person and how he's treated on main roster versus NXT than Aleister Black. Aleister Black was treated perfectly in NXT, and then you see how he's treated. He's basically a different character.
Oh yeah,
the whole aggressive. I want people to pick a fight with me
instead of some sort of dude with serious mystique.
Yeah,
which is what it was in NXT. Yeah. I wouldn't say necessarily like it was inferred he was into the occult, just based on his merchandise, his packaging.
Well, yeah, he's got a bunch of candles lit. All that
stuff.
Only people who are into weird religious stuff like a bunch of candles in their room.
I don't think that's necessarily true, but anyways. Now he's just dude in a room who wants to fight yet doesn't go to the place where fights are guaranteed to happen in pro wrestling, to the ring.
Yeah, it's something else. Yeah. But no, I mean, good on Cedric for having, because it seems like, I don't know. I mean, the only thing you really can do is keep your head high and understand that your ability will hopefully, win the day.
You keep your head high. You work hard.
Say the right things, which is what he's saying here.
Yeah.
But there is obviously, and ignoring it or trying to defend it, if you're on the outside looking in, if you want the product to be better, that kind of behavior, creatively speaking, is not one that's, that's one of the reasons I believe why, you look year over year at the ratings, is going bump, 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 bump,
because you have a character, a performer like Cedric, who people get into, And then you think, oh, they're going to actually do something with him because he's in a feud with AJ Styles. Maybe he'll win the U.S. title. And if he doesn't, it's a great showing. The next feud just kind of concludes, and then you don't see him for a few weeks. And you're like, well, what the heck? I like Cedric. Where is he?
Yeah. I mean, you can name any number of guys, and we always say it's spinning wheels. Ricochet, Drew McIntyre are two huge examples.
Name basically anybody in the main roster.
You know, I mean, you take a look at guys like that, and it's like okay, you look at Buddy Murphy, who we all love, but it's like, you know, you kind of understand it. He was known as the best kept secret. You know, he sort of came out of nowhere. He was in a tag team in NXT, but you got a guy like Ricochet, Drew McIntyre. You know, I mean, even I don't know.
Even going back as far as Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
there's just been a lot of calls from NXT that have not been handled terribly well.
Yeah.
It's a long history of it.
Yeah. Pretty much. Anyways, man, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Expressvpn. Are you looking to keep from having your online security buried by hackers? Oh, I see what you did there. That's good. Look no further than Expressvpn, because it'll keep all your network data encrypted, safe, and secure from hackers.
Won't be buried. Expressvpn is available not only on computers, but also for mobile and digital media players like Fire TV. Plus, it's super fast, costs less than $7 a month. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I've given ExpressVPN a try, and it was incredibly easy to sign up. Setup was a breeze, especially for someone like me who's not versed at all in how VPNs operate, and the app has run seamlessly on my laptop.
So protect your online activity today and find out how you can get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/GIR. That's expressvpn.com/GIR for 3 months free with a 1-year package.
Visit expressvpn.com/GIR to learn more. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to expressvpn.com/GIR.
Oh, I like this next story, man.
Yeah, me too.
The Undertaker. So what is this about an official, the headline here on your notes says, an official Undertaker shoot interview coming
let's go
soon.
Let's go way back to like 3 weeks ago, October 23rd.
Time to let it all out.
I know.
I'm going to shoot from the hip.
Well, he kind of already did with that pastor, apparently he's friends with.
That was the closest we'll ever get. That was a fascinating.
Well, the closest we've gotten this far.
Look, go ahead.
Hold on. Way back on October 23rd, WrestleVotes tweeted, quote, hearing WWE is planning on bringing back the Stone Cold podcast, WWE Network, in the near future. Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Show is scheduled to have a brand new name, but same concept. It's Austin interviewing top stars. I'm told it should launch within the first quarter of 2020, if not sooner. Reading this, one would assume this might be a show that falls under the auspices of the new deal that WWE struck with Endeavor to launch this podcast network. After the Bell, Corey Graves show just had its debut a couple weeks ago. Well, WrestleVotes had a follow-up over the weekend, offering up the name of the show and its first guest. Quote,
Broken Skull Session with Steve Austin. First guest, The Undertaker. Official announcement is coming this week.
Yeah, but shortly before that tweet from WrestleVotes, actually, Stone Cold tweeted a tease of his own saying,
Bottom line, kick-ass announcement coming real soon. Hashtag hell yeah.
And then there's a still of, one would assume, the guest of the first episode. So you see like it's an over-shoulder guest at Stone Cold, and you see blurry neck and shoulders, like a camo hat. You see camo hat, you think Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, sure. Well, these days, though, he switched that out for an NXT
hat.
Totally.
So,
and NXT track shirt.
And then you're like, all right, probably The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to wait long for the official announcement. That happened right before we started rolling, courtesy of Variety. And it turns out WrestleVotes was 100% right on both the name of the show and the first guest.
Good job, WrestleVotes.
This is what Variety had to say. Quote, the company's branded streaming service, that's a network, will air the monthly series Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Broken Skull Sessions, with the first episode set to air on November 24th at approximately 10:30 p.m. Eastern after the annual WWE pay-per-view Survivor Series. Variety has also learned that the premiere episode will feature a rare long-form interview with Mark Calloway, better known to WWE fans as The
Undertaker.
Stone Cold had a quote in this Variety piece. He said, quote, go ahead, Steve.
Mark has been doing The Undertaker for 30 years, and he has had one of the greatest runs in the history of the business. He stayed in character all this time. He's made a few appearances on some talk shows way back in the day, but no one has ever really heard from Mark Calloway, the man. I think he was enthusiastic because he's been quiet for so long, so now he has the chance to share some stories like everyone else has. He's had one of the most high-profile careers, and back in his heyday, had some of the most outlandish stories from the road. We had a great time shooting the breeze.
Still, it's not exactly known how long the show will be or whether it's eventually going to be available in podcast form.
I want Stone Cold talking to Bret Hart.
We'll probably get that at some point. But considering how Variety mentioned that it's going to be on the network, one guess, maybe probably a 30-minute interview. Maybe, what was it, Legends? That was 30 minutes, right?
Was it 30 minutes or an hour?
Or an hour.
I don't know.
At most, this will be an hour, which, that could qualify for podcast listening if WB. Here's the thing. All this podcasting type stuff probably never would have happened without the Conrad Thompson empire of podcasts rising to prominence. You got Pritchard, Arn, Bischoff, all having podcasts. Shivani, sorry, I didn't mean to leave out Tony. Telling their immense wealth of backstage stories about how things happen. WWE wants in on that business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't just enough when Jericho's had his show going on forever, interviewing people, or Stone Cold for that matter. I think without something to wrestle with, 83 weeks, what happened when the Arn show, like this whole WWE podcast network probably never would have happened. They saw. Yeah. I know Conrad's talked about how monetizing a wrestling podcast isn't easy as it was back then. For WWE, that's not a worry, I don't think. But just they see the huge market available to them. It'd behoove them to take advantage of the opportunity where this market is huge, evidently, because all these podcasts are doing pretty darn well.
Yeah.
And then they have guys like The Undertaker, who's really never done like a shoot interview before or spoken extensively out of character apart from his pastor, apparently.
Those were long interviews.
I know. They were a couple hours, weren't they?
They were. There was a lot of info there.
But not in like an official WWE capacity.
Which I know, yeah, but that just
so
means
you're gonna have this kind of
be
middle ground between shoot but still kayfabe. He's not gonna really go. It's not like gonna be like an RF video thing where it's completely shooting from the hip.
Right? Yeah. There's
and
gonna
that's
be
the downside of it.
Yeah, but I mean, Undertaker's had the kind of career where I'm not sure if he would have. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he's got like a ton of stories.
Oh yeah.
But he's also a very loyal company guy. So yeah, that's going to be rad, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Undertaker was even slightly out of character for his the documentary, or for a couple documentaries.
Yeah, he has a couple interview bits where he's kind of 75% out of character. I remember the Triple H one.
Yeah, the Triple H one. I mean,
but we've never really gotten, in terms of a WWE production, anything extended with him that's anywhere close to behind the scenes of The Undertaker.
No. I mean, the best stuff is always outside of the WWE anyways. This will be cool because it's Stone Cold. The fact that they are emphasizing that it's Mark Calloway is very telling. That's the biggest thing.
They released a steal on Variety, and of course, he's not an Undertaker getup. He's wearing a camo hat. He's appearing as Mark Calloway.
Yes.
It's probably what he'd wear. It's kind of what he wore when he was sitting courtside at the Cleveland Cavaliers game, not what he wore backstage when he was trying to get into the locker room.
Yeah. What would you like to hear? Because here's the thing about Stone Cold. This is why I'd love to see. I'm really looking forward to this. I'd love to see a Bret Hart one because Stone Cold seems to be able to get people to be really laid back, and he could bring the humor out of them. And for a guy like Undertaker and a guy like Bret Hart, that'd be really fascinating to see.
Especially Bret, because he seems pretty merciless.
Especially Bret. Yeah. Like, it's funny because I watched a bunch of I think it's RF interview with Bret Hart where he's wearing that lime green shirt. And I don't know why it stands out to me. It does.
Well, I mean, not very often do you see, ever since the 80s at least, someone rocking a lime green shirt.
Right. And Bret only seems to find humor whenever he's talking about, like, whenever he's recalling, like, a funny story about somebody, like, pooping in a bag or something.
And if you're going to bring up what do I want Stone Cold to ask The Undertaker, it's whether Sid pooped himself.
Yeah, well, that's a good one.
I really need to know that.
Yeah. Yes, it was disgusting.
He
had Thai food right before.
Yeah, WrestleMania 13.
It's not good. Yeah, I think it could be fun, man. I mean, Stone Cold seemingly is like friends with like everybody.
Yeah, it seems like everybody likes Stone Cold.
And that's kind of the coolest thing.
It is kind of the coolest thing. And under WWE podcast news, Cage Side Seats is reporting the rumor roundup today that, quote, based on trademark filings by WWE, it appears a New Day podcast is in the works. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think that'd be spectacular.
Texas, yeah, that's rad. Texas Grizzly says, I just want to know if that Shawn Michaels story is true.
Whether Undertaker was backstage ready to beat up Shawn Michaels if he didn't lose Stone Cold.
Here's the thing. He could be talking about any number
I know.
of Shawn Michaels stories.
But
no, exactly. There's any number of Shawn. And here's the problem is that's not going to be this. That kind of stuff is like exclusive to the RF video stuff, you know, or that kind of thing. Or Hannibal. He does.
Hannibal TV.
He gets some really good stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get
Probably
that
not.
with this. I mean, you can really, you just have to look at Stone Cold's interview with Hogan as sort of what you can expect.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't really go hard on Hogan. In fact, I didn't even mind that he didn't really go on like the latest, Hogan controversy stuff. It's that I thought that there was a lot more ground, and maybe there just wasn't ground there to mine. But the fact that Austin didn't really talk much about him and Hogan and them crossing paths in WCW.
Yeah.
And maybe they just didn't. I mean, he sort of explained it from his perspective. He was on the rise and Hogan came in and then that sort of didn't happen. But, there just seemed to be more ground that they could have covered there.
They kind of just brushed by it a little bit.
Like when you come to Hogan and when you have Hogan and Austin starts out with, whatever, WrestleMania 3 or whatever. No, it took like an hour to get to WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, they did a lot.
He started from like the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you're not really going to get to the stuff. I don't know. I always like when wrestlers sort of, when they're having an interview, and Austin, like when you look at Austin's stuff with, for example, Austin's interview, the good one with Scott Hall, when Scott Hall was like completely lucid.
That was great.
It's terrific. And they cover a lot of the ground from their match at Mania. And they're both very diplomatic about it and very, and they both admit, we had issues back then. But they go into that pretty deeply. Yeah. I don't know. It would have been, if Austin, I'm sure, has a ton of stories.
Oh, yeah.
And, so I don't know. I think this will be, I'm not going to say it's a puff piece at all, but it's definitely not going to be a deep dive either.
Yeah, I don't think it would be either.
Yeah.
We'll get a couple good stories, some laughs, some fun moments of Taker out of character, but otherwise it's not going to be. It's gonna just kind of brush the surface of some
Andre
of the stuff
Knox
you hear.
Yeah, Andre Knox has a good point here in chat. Also, he says him and Booker T had a great interview back in September.
Check that out.
When you get, because I'm not a big fan of boxing or whatever, but like because they talk about boxing for like the first half hour. The rest of it is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's really good stuff. Booker T and Stevie Ray both are really great storytellers. Like Stevie Ray's shoot interviews are just amazing.
Yeah.
They're really great.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got another sponsor here, Larson. So before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Audible. Let me go do this right here. There we go. Audible has the world's largest selection of audiobooks and audio entertainment, including Audible Originals, which are stories created exclusively for audio, including documentaries, exclusive audiobooks, and scripted shows that you can't hear anywhere else.
And thanks to the super convenient Audible app, you can listen anytime, anywhere, and on any device, mobile, Alexa-enabled, Bluetooth, and more. You can listen at the gym. You can listen in your car on the way to work, while you're out shopping. Audible keeps you informed, inspired, and entertained. You'll finish more stories when you listen with Audible and always be part of the conversation.
And now Audible members get more than ever before. Every month, you can choose one audiobook regardless of price, as well as 2 Audible originals from a fresh selection. Members can stay motivated and inspired with unlimited access to exclusive guided fitness and meditation programs. And members can sign up for free updates from the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and Washington Post delivered daily to the app.
Audible offers a great selection of pro wrestling-themed audiobooks as well, including Jim Ross's Slobber Knocker and Chris Charlton's Eggshells Pro Wrestling at the Tokyo Dome. We have that somewhere. And there's even the new Audible original, The 64th Man, starring John Cena, dropping November 14th. That's just a few days from now. Audible members can easily exchange any title they don't love at any time, and members get to keep their library of listens forever, even if they cancel. And right now, friends can start listening with a 30-day Audible trial. Choose one audiobook and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Visit audible.com/goinginraw, all one word, or text goinginraw, again, all one word, to 500-500.
Again, get a 30-day Audible trial by going to audible.com/goinginraw, all one word, or by texting goinginraw, all one word, to 500-500. Thanks to Audible for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to audible.com/goinginraw or texting Going In Raw to 500-500.
This just came in right before we started.
Ooh.
Sin Cara took Twitter, said he wants his release.
Well, that's what we think it says. Let's see here.
Well, my Spanish isn't very good, and I could piece that together just by looking at it.
Hold on a second. Where's the tweet? Come on, I wanted to copy
Yeah,
this.
copy
Darn it. Copy it. Copy.
Come on
and
now.
then paste. Twitter. All right.
There it is.
All right.
So, Steve, will you please, of the two of us, you are the more fluent in Spanish.
You know, you seem to be picking it up quite a bit, though. I mean, the thing is,
I took it back in 8th grade. And,
it's all stuff that, like, for example, the title of this is Liberación de Contrato de Sin Cara. It's obviously
I want free in my contract. Yeah,
liberation.
Yeah, I can. A lot of stuff I can figure out. I know enough that I can kind of piece it together.
So he says, anoche, después de orar y considerarlo mucho de pensar. Okay, so basically he says
After much
consideration, and talking with my sons, I think. And or after my sons and their future, our future, I made a decision. It's very difficult. However, I'm about working in my career in professional lucha libre. I want my liberation from the WWE. This is really long.
It is very long.
Desde que era un niño, all the something luchar my life. Now that I'm under the gun, I'm having a really hard time with this. For 20 years, my trajectory
and energy.
I've got a lot of respect. World.
Mundo's World.
A lot of incredible people. I've traveled a lot, met a lot of incredible people, a lot of great stuff for the WWE Universe.
A lot of great wrestling fans. WWE Universe.
A lot of fanaticos there.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I understand Vince is going to add at least 3 years to my contract. He's kind of a grumpy old gringo. Very weird, very oddball. And but I want out of here. Me and Mike Kanellis are going to form a tag team called Not Gonna Happen.
I read somewhere, I'll find it here now that I say this, that the Carolina, his new, I don't know, she's not really a valet, she's not a manager.
Mixed tag team partner.
Anyway, she got sent back to NXT.
Oh, okay, so that's done with.
Yeah.
He says, mi programa con Andrade es finito.
Yeah.
Therefore.
Es no más.
Yeah, vamos, WWE.
Yeah.
You know what he should do? He's just like hire like a luchador version of a young lion.
Oh, it was according to Wrestling Observer Radio that Carolina was already sent back to NXT.
Put the mask and the suit on that guy.
Wait, sorry, say again?
He should hire, he should do a really down low excursion for like a young lion, but in the lucha sense. I don't know what they call young lions in lucha. Have him put on the mask and the outfit.
And he can
just replace him.
He
collects the checks.
Yeah. Might call El Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah.
And say, come on up.
Well, he's a big deal.
He is.
He's not really a young
Aerostar. I don't know.
I'm talking about like low level.
Oh, some of those guys that are in like the pre-show of Triple Mania. They're all really good.
Yeah, exactly. They're probably better than him. They're like, wow, this Sin Cara guy's really stepped up his game.
I'm not surprised Sin Cara wants out. They've never really done anything with him.
No, and he's the second. He's the second guy to play him. The first guy, I think, is back in AAA.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Or no, wait, no. Like the brother of the first guy is in AAA, because wasn't it like
isn't that Mystices?
A variation, yeah, Mystices, something like that. But that's not actually him.
That could be right.
And then because I thought but he wears the same mask.
Yeah, I know.
They're all related, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, he wants out.
Not surprising.
I'm not surprised by that. There's a lot of people in the WWE right now, and clearly they don't really know how to use the vast majority of them. The vast majority of them.
Yeah, Sin Cara was Hunico.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And then also somebody sent us a thing about two other guys who I forget what their status is technically on the roster. the Cologne guys.
Oh, yeah, Primo and Epico.
Yeah, they have like a match against each other.
In Puerto Rico, yeah.
And Noche de Campeones.
Yeah.
Night of Champions.
Not a champion. Yeah. I can put that one together. Someone who seems to be more or less pretty happy despite previous reports to the contrary is Rusev. He spoke to The Sun, I'm guessing because they're over the United Kingdom this week. And he was asked about his experience after Crown Jewel. As we had to say, quote, unpleasant, of course, because we all wanted to go home after being away for over 24 hours. We were all ready to get out, and we couldn't. The frustration grew by each hour, and me asking for prayers is nothing new. My father is a pastor. I'm a believer in God, Jesus Christ, our Savior. So I always ask for prayers just because I want to go home, not because we were held hostage. I don't think anyone in their rightful mind is going to hold 170 people, American citizens, hostage. I don't think that'll reflect well anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of common sense there.
That's a really good point from Rusev.
This next part is great, though. He says he added that the travel issues would not preclude him from making a return visit in the future. He says this, I make a lot of money, buddy. I will definitely go back. I love it. I love every single trip that we do there. I love how we break barriers with women wrestling there and Lana being able to go. I think it's a great victory for the company, not just for that, but to open new doors and new opportunities to develop further. It's just amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. $100 bill just fell out of my ear right here. Let me pick that up.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Joshua Martinez in chat says pretty sure that Mystico, the original Sin Cara, is in CMLL now.
Ah, okay. Bueno. And then Tongaloa was Camacho.
Yeah, in NXT.
Or a Hunakor. Remember that joke we used to make?
Yeah.
They were Hunakor.
Yeah, Hunakor.
Because we're like, who's who? So, yeah. Yeah, man. So, who all wants to leave WWE right now?
I don't know.
Officially right now, it's just Sin Cara and Mike Kanellis.
Yes. I would suspect at least 25% of the roster probably would prefer to relocate.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of people.
But they have a ton of people.
I'd probably say like 10%. I'd say 10% probably want to leave.
I'd say 25% would consider it varying degrees. Maybe 10% are like, I want out now. But there's probably upwards of 25% be like
10% probably want out now.
I wouldn't mind if I went somewhere else.
I think probably a good like 50% would be very interested in knowing what their options were.
Oh, definitely.
That's what
definitely.
I think because there's a lot of people there who are not being. But like, I mean, a guy like, you know, we mentioned Ricochet and Drew McIntyre. They don't want to go anywhere. They're totally fine where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, they basically are. I mean, it's funny because like, even though they're not treated creatively as well as they should be, they're still on TV every single week, and they're still like booked really, really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always focus on those two because I feel like they're the guys who like. It's so bizarre how strong they are sometimes. Like they come off as booked really, really strong, but then they do like, and I say do nothing. And with that, I mean nothing of like substance.
Yeah, no creative from a creative sense, something of consequence. Yeah,
because like, why is Drew constantly henchman?
I mean, it's a situation where more often than not, Drew wins his matches, and if he doesn't win, he looks like an absolute beast in his matches. But creatively, he's not involved in anything that really highlights his skill set and shows that he really shows off that he really should be like a top guy.
Yeah, he
should absolutely be a top guy.
Oh yeah, Jordan Miles definitely wants out.
Oh yeah,
he definitely wants out. That guy is. He's probably going to be. Do you think, is there any chance if that whole thing hadn't happened that he would have been involved? Because Keith Lee ended up choosing Matt Riddle as his partner that one. What was that for? Who were they fighting?
Redragon, wasn't it?
Redragon, that's right. I wonder if there was ever anything. I mean, Matt Riddle's a big name. There's a big gap between him and Jordan Miles, but there was that tease between Keith Lee and Jordan Miles.
Yeah. They didn't really follow through on that.
They didn't.
It was just before Jordan Miles' title match against Adam Cole.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh man. Anyways, one more bit of business here, Larson. Oh, sorry. There we go. Before we continue, oh man, this is great. Here's a word from the I love talking about Rusev because whenever we talk about Rusev, we get to talk about Manscaped. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your lover has gone down to your front area down here and then prayed that there was something out there that could contain the overgrown thicket of messy bush lurking in your man zone? They literally prayed to whatever God they believe in.
Yes.
Maybe it's Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. I don't know
whoever it may be.
But they're like, I'm about to go down there. God, give me strength.
It's such a mess. I wish there was some miracle that would clean this up. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need an act of God. No miracles required To keep your nether regions clean thanks to Manscaped, I, like most guys, have been the victims of harsh trimmers that take away bits of ball skin when trying to groom the family jewels. Thankfully, we're here to tell you that Manscaped has completely changed the game again. No miracles required.
Oh, man, no water into wine here. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer with their Lawnmower 2.0, which has proprietary tech that keeps your ball skin safe from cuts and snags.
But that's not all. Why just keep your man bits groomed? They can also be smelling good, too. Manscaped has an
Smell that junk.
Fresh, clean, amazing.
It's like a spring day.
It is. It's like a dewy meadow. Manscaped has an anti-chafing deodorant moisturizer called Crop Preserver that keeps your front area nether regions, man zone, groinal region smelling fresh.
Dude, here's the thing. Usually I'm walking around. The last thing I want to smell is like somebody's pubic area.
Yeah.
But like with Manscaped, I'd love to.
It's like a Glades plug-in.
Like, do I want, fresh autumn breeze or Manscaped junk? Give me the Manscaped junk, man. Anyways, right now, friendos can get 20% off and free shipping and a free travel bag by going to manscaped.com and using promo code GIR. Use the right tools to keep your ball skin safe. Trust me, man. Your balls are going to be down there. You're going to be thanks, friendo.
Yeah, as will your lover instead of praying when she goes down to your hog pen and sees, when he or she goes down to your hog pen and sees and smells that it's slop-free. No one likes sloppy junk. Again, no miracles required. You can get 20% off, free shipping, and a free travel bag by going to manscaped.com and using promo code GIR.
And thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. And you're really helping out Going In Raw and your ball skin by going to manscaped.com and using promo code GIR.
That's right. Now it is time for Raw Preview.
Raw Preview.
First item. Seth Rollins named first member of Team Raw ahead of Survivor Series. Monday Night Rollins is ready to go for Team Raw at Survivor Series. He's ready to join him after being named the first participant for the Red Brand. Seth Rollins set to address the WWE Universe as he wait. This is what we want to see do. Seth do more talking. Seth Rollins is ready to address the WWE Universe. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's doing, though.
Oh, you're being sarcastic.
Yeah. As he awaits the reveal of his teammates by the end of Monday night, the full Team Raw lineup will be complete. The Beast Slayer attempted to move past the loss of Universal title at Crown Jewel and lead Raw to brand supremacy at Survivor Series, with Survivor Series inching closer by the day of the rest of the Raw superstars will be set to make an impression and earning the golden opportunity to join. There's no golden opportunity. There's no titles on the line. To join Rollins in the interbrand battle, Raw, 8/7 Central, Raw's taking on SmackDown NXT at Survivor Series next.
So I wonder who's going to, well, hold on, let's talk about this. I'm tired of reading these freaking previews, man. I want to just talk about what's going to happen. So Rollins is going to be named captain of Team Raw.
Used to be the fair part of the show, too.
That's like, yeah, not anymore. That's obvious. So speculate. Who's going to be, who else besides Ricochet is going to be on Team Raw? Because Ricochet is totally going to be on Team Raw. Like, it should be, is Aleister Black still on Raw?
He's got a knee issue.
Oh, that's interesting. Sitting around in that room too much, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes your joints lock up when you sit too long,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, there's like so many options.
Yeah, there's a lot
Drew
of people.
McIntyre. Put Drew on that team.
Ricochet, Drew, Buddy Murphy. So that's 4. And then you add
Cedric Alexander.
Cedric. Oh, man, that'd be great. If Cedric is on Team Raw, then confirmed he's not buried.
Yeah.
What do you think? Hey, let me ask you this. So Dave Meltzer published a retraction about the Seth Rollins stuff, and then he apologized to him on Twitter. What did he say to his source?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Hey, man.
Get your stuff straight.
Listen, I look like an asshole right now.
Yeah, I know. You may look like a real jerk.
You look like a real...
Get your act together.
So-and-so, pal.
Get your act together.
Can't use you anymore. What beef do you have with Seth Rollins? You know what he should do? He should then turn on the source if it's a public person and be like, let's say his source, for example, is... I don't know, name a wrestler on Raw. Let's say his source is Bobby Lashley.
All right.
He should then put out a story, Bobby Lashley hates Seth Rollins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Source confirmed to me that Seth Rollins did this, but that source was lying. That source is Bobby Lashley.
Wow.
I'm just throwing out that name. I don't think that's true.
That's stirring the pot right there.
Yeah, man.
Becky Lynch to open Raw and address upcoming triple threat match at Survivor Series.
Let's see here. Becky Lynch is no stranger to high-profile triple threat matches. She's ready to address the WWE Universe. So she's going to talk also. So if that's going to talk, then Becky's going to talk.
No, Becky's going to talk first. She's opening the show talking.
Oh, she's going to open talk. Why didn't they put that first then?
Yeah, no.
Seth Rollins named first member of Team Raw. Why didn't they announce that on the show?
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
everybody, we're going to do a team versus team thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, next, Kabuki Warriors will defend the women's tag titles. Says eschewing their manager to showcasing a new, more sinister edge. Kabuki Warriors have been more dangerous than ever in the rise.
Oh, that's right. This has already been recorded.
This has already all happened.
Yeah.
So there's really no point.
No
to
spoilers, though.
This has already all happened. No point.
This is more of a mystery-laden review.
Yeah, kind of. That's a good point.
Because these things happened. This had to have been like the easiest preview to write.
Because it already happened.
It already happened.
The hardest part is not putting results in there.
Right, I know, exactly. So the Kabuki Warriors are going to be taking on a mystery tag team.
I don't know. I thought it would probably be Charlotte and Natalya. They beat them last week.
It makes all the sense in the world for it to be Charlotte and Natalya. That makes sense. They've been a team for a couple weeks now.
Let's see if it is, though.
Let's see if it is. Let's see if they're going to do something that makes sense.
Then Lana set to unveil a shocking confession on Raw. More of this Rusev Lana Lashley business.
So I can give you a spoiler on this one. This segment is booed out of the GD building. I read that, although I did hear a couple friendos actually said this from the UK, that tonight's Raw more than made up for SmackDown.
All right, that's
so apparently Raw is supposed to be pretty solid tonight. Please no spoilers in chat. But apparently Raw is supposed to be pretty solid. So I'll just go ahead and yeah. I'll say that. Anyways, man, we got a question thread up here on the Twitter.
Yeah, let's do the questions. I got some here in Super Chats. Nick C., Happy Veterans Day, friendos. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there, especially the veterans.
We obviously need to address this. Number one, okay, so Sting and RoboCop were at StarCast this week.
RoboCop apparently the patrolling the streets of Detroit had like a Hogan-like effect on him. Several inches shorter than he was at his prime.
Yeah, this is a short RoboCop. Who looks better in a RoboCop helmet, this guy or me?
Well, that's actually a helmet, so he does.
Not like a soft pillow thing for $20 on Amazon.
Nick C. wants us to power rank Thanksgiving food.
Well, hold on. I didn't finish, though.
Well, I started this before you even started that.
Power rank Thanksgiving food?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Thanksgiving, to be honest with you. I don't like kind of anything about it. Except
stuffing. Stuffing's the best thing about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, we're on the same page. I could eat like a giant thing of stuffing.
My mother-in-law makes these. They're like little stuffing muffins that have spicy sausage in it.
I'll say this. So no, my mother-in-law hooks up the Thanksgiving. She does. She actually does a really good job with it. Still, not a fan.
It's just Thanksgiving is just all about sitting around and eating.
Yeah, which I like to eat by myself, watching TV.
You just kind of prefer to do everything by yourself.
Yeah,
or at least most things.
Yeah,
you're not a social animal.
I'm not. I'm really not. Did anybody ask Sting who was under that RoboCop helmet? This is some jabroni. At Capital Combat.
1990, no.
1990.
No.
You don't actually have to specify 1990. They never did that again.
I'm just saying the full title of the show, man.
Well, no. Okay, you didn't then, because evidently you don't know the full title of the show.
Oh, yeah, there's something else.
The Return of RoboCop, baby.
RoboCop, yeah. Sorry. No, no one asked.
Anybody ask him? Any friendos out there did a Sting meet and greet? Come on now. It was only $130. $100 less, you can meet RoboCop.
$110 less.
Phobocop.
Yeah, Phobocop.
Fake ass RoboCop. Nikhail asks.
Oh, I missed a couple of them. Sorry.
With Cody now in a feud with MJF. Well, I'm on Twitter already. With Cody now in a feud with MJF, who do you think is next challenger for Chris Jericho?
Or on Dynamite, it's going to be SCU because Jericho and Sammy are challenging for the tag titles. Sam Monsky review of Midsummer or The Lighthouse. You've seen The Lighthouse.
I saw The Lighthouse, and I was thinking about reviewing it for my YouTube channel, but, man, you got to do a lot of reading to understand to do a proper review. You got to dive into the I'm not say source material because there wasn't the inspiration behind a lot of just the basic story. And I forget, it escapes me for the life of me. But I highly recommend The Lighthouse. It's a terrific flick.
Yeah,
but it operates on a lot of different levels. Man.
Yeah. Jacinto Gonzalez, NWO's first pay-per-view, all the NWO members lost. The Elite's first pay-per-view, all the Elite members lost, but same but kind of better. Well, there was no giant toilet throne at any of the All Elite pay-per-views thus far, therefore they get the edge for sure.
Yeah, so same but kind of better.
Likewise, no garbage cans or garbage trucks.
Who is this? Sean Lindsay mentioned that Sin Cara has the English language version.
Oh, on Instagram.
So, yeah. Last night after prayer and much consideration, I made one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make in my professional wrestling career. So he doesn't talk about Why does it say Ehos then? I thought Ehos was like sons. I have asked for my release from WWE. Ever since I was a little boy, all I want to do is wrestle. All my life, I made decisions to sacrifice to put myself in a position to accomplish that dream. Travel the world, got to know some amazing people. I got that part right. Yeah. So, and then of course he thanks them. But that dude is going to have so much time added to his contract.
Yeah, he's been out with injury for a while.
A ton of time.
RTGTZ, did WWE miss an opportunity by not booking Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT in a War Games match? Book the match and who should make up each team? Thanks, Fred. There's 3 teams of 3.
Yeah, no, I don't think they missed an opportunity simply because, I mean, yeah, it could have been cool at TakeOver.
Yeah, man, have Undisputed Era versus the OC versus the New Day.
Yeah.
Tell me that would have been awesome.
That would have been pretty cool. That would have been neat.
That would have been some next level stuff.
If they did it, I'll put it this way. At NXT.
Yeah.
Not at Survivor Series. And that's still kind of wonky. Like, it's going to be weird how they address it on NXT. Because, like, that's a brutal match.
It is a brutal match.
They're supposed to go in there against the OC the next night.
Yeah.
Are they going to have any invasion stuff going on during TakeOver?
Yeah, I don't know. But then you want to, keep the integrity of your TakeOver
That's
intact.
the important. I would think that's the important thing, but Vince is Vince. Mr. Triple Mania, with WrestleMania 36 tickets going on sale this week, are you guys still considering going to WrestleMania weekend without actually going to WrestleMania?
We haven't actually discussed it much.
We have not discussed it at all. So, I mean, it's probably a conversation we should have, but I think
a lot of it depends on
probably both just avoiding it.
Financials, too.
Mm-hmm. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Black Mega Man, you think Cesaro will re-sign after his deal is up?
I think that he probably would be smart to.
Depends on what kind of money's on the table.
Here's the thing. He's a guy, I wouldn't even call Cesaro underutilized. I'd say creatively he's just been kind of a mess. They utilize him a lot.
Well, he's evolved.
He's on TV a lot.
Yeah.
It's just creatively speaking. See, I think underutilized are guys that are like on TV every once in a while. And it's like, man, they really should do more with this person. And that's
definitely part of underutilized. I kind of feel like too is maybe people are involved but aren't necessarily highlighting their strengths.
Well, okay, that's what I was going to mention. Is that on today's bonus episode, we are going to definitively figure out what buried actually means, and in that context, we'll have to determine what does underutilized mean, what is creatively mishandled means. Like, I think Bray Wyatt's probably just creatively mishandled, not necessarily underutilized.
I agree, but can you be creatively mishandled, whether purposely or not, to such an extent that you are purposely or inadvertently buried?
Find out today.
Yeah, exactly.
On Going In Raw. Overrun patrons $1 and up can get that.
Yes.
Channel members.
Black Mega Man, big swerve. The source is Becky Lynch.
Ooh.
Shocking reveal.
Wow. It was me. It was me all along. Tomas asks, who from the late 60s to the early 80s would you bring back in their prime, I'm assuming via some sort of space-time portal, for a full career, and what belt or belts would they go for? Also pick someone for both WWE and AEW. When did Lou Thesz retire?
It was in the 60s.
Yeah.
Because he beat Buddy Rogers for the NWA title in 63.
I don't think he retired till like the 70s, right?
I feel like he was already in his 50s when he won that belt. But yeah, pro wrestlers had...
I think he lasted until he was like 136. So I would bring back Lou Thesz.
It's good.
That guy kind of drop and shoot power bombs.
He cutting fire promos with everybody.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good.
Because who doesn't want to see because in his prime he was like, in his mid-50s.
Yeah. 60s, 70s, 80s, huh?
We'll just name one name from that time.
I know. I'm trying to think of someone who was underutilized, maybe. Arn Anderson.
Oh, there you go.
Could Arn Anderson, because he was a great promo.
Oh, yeah, he was terrific.
Could he be a main event player today's WWE? He's a really good wrestler.
No.
Hell of a promo. Imagine him in NXT. Kyle, update on my dad going for an angiogram tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Hoping for the best.
Well, we are as well. Let's see here. Heel Cat says, I don't know if you heard the latest Something to Wrestle With podcast, but they addressed the WWE 2K20 glitches. Really?
That's interesting.
What the hell would Conrad or Bruce Pritchard know about WWE 2K20?
That's weird.
Heel Cat says they spin it as an ever-evolving product. I really love
I understand that, but you can't
podcast
devolve the product to release it and then expect us to be happy with an evolution from
Are you
a
sure
product
you
that was
didn't
less than the year prior.
mishear it as an ever devolving product?
Yeah.
Because that's what it did. Like, do you think they've ever played a lick of that game?
Maybe Conrad has. I'm saying maybe.
He's like younger than us, isn't he?
Well, probably.
I think he is.
So yeah, I'm sure he's played his fair share of video games.
I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't know. He's in real estate.
Oh man, GT Racer says Brian Pillman, bring him back. That's the right answer.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Pillman would be huge these days.
FK asks, it's Fear and Loathing. Okay, what current big man would you give the RoboCop gimmick to? He says he would give it to either Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows would be hilarious as
That'd be pretty
RoboCop,
funny.
or it's Dijakovic.
Dan Matha.
Oh, that's a good one. But it's Dijakovic already had like the putty voice. Is already kind of RoboCop. Hey, dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Greg Johansson says 2K20 is one of something to wrestle with sponsors, so I guess they had to address it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let me ask you something. If the good people at 2K came to us and said, hey, we're going to give you guys an ass ton of money.
There would have to be some measure of transparency there, wouldn't you think?
We'd have to show them how much money we got.
Well, no, just in terms of we'd have to acknowledge that the game isn't in the state it needs to be.
Yeah, an ever-evolving product. Get that ad copy in here. Well, that might be a possibility. I should shut my trap. God, I don't know. That'd be hard. That'd be really hard.
That'd be a tough sell.
I think it'd be at this point. I think it'd be impossible given the content we produced with it.
Well, I'm
so
saying
far.
it would have to full transparency in our parts in terms of how we really feel about the product. You'd have to. That's the only way we do it.
We'd have to be like, look, we can't do this. We can't.
Or the only way we can do it is we express in full our reservations about this product that we're promoting on our show.
Here's the thing, though. We've been approached about stuff like gambling sites. I think like e-cigarettes. We've turned them down.
Yeah, we've turned down
because
a copy before.
Like there's no way we would do that. Like I don't want to push that stuff on people. Mm-mm. I think that we'd have to draw the line at 2K20. I can't. It'd have to be this. You don't have to be. They come in and say, okay, listen. I actually do honestly, wholeheartedly recommend 2K20 on the basis that glitches are hilarious.
Oh, they are.
I find broken games, as long as it's not broken to the point where like it's unplayable.
Yeah.
I find them hilarious.
Yeah. There's value to be had in that. Just don't pay full price for it.
Yeah. Yeah. If we're allowed to push it as now, buy it for like $40.
No, here's the thing. Like whenever it invariably goes on sale on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And they want us to promote buy this game for $30, sure.
Yeah, right.
That might be a reasonable
totally
value.
Worth it because
it's like a $30 game, but they're charging $60 for it.
But they'd have to be
anyways.
totally fine.
Yes.
With us just being completely honest about the game.
Yeah, if you want some a glitchy nightmare of a wrestling game,
yeah,
by all means, drop $30.
Yeah, sure, I do that.
2K20 this holiday season.
Well, it's out there now. They know. Yeah. Patrick Sparks says, "Why not do gambling? Larson is a blackjack fiend." Well, because he's old enough to make those decisions.
Yeah,
you wouldn't recommend it.
And it's not blackjack; it's roulette that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair point, Jameson. Fair point.
Oh man. Let's see here. Moving on. Employed and Fixer Roy. What should be the next thing for the Undisputed Era after all the Survivor Series stuff? I'm telling you, man. I think what faction? They should sort of have a turn because another faction comes in and takes all their titles.
Yeah.
I forget. You mentioned a good faction for that. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I forgot it. Bad News Bronson. Why don't we ever acknowledge Big E as a former NXT champion? He was the second ever, was a dominant force back in his 2012 NXT run. Just 7 years ago, so it kind of...
Yeah, here's why.
NXT wasn't what NXT is now.
Either. Yeah, he came in pre the big call-up thing. Like, he came in as like Dolph's heavy.
Yeah.
And it was before they really talked about that stuff. Like, oh, look at this big star from NXT. He's coming in now.
And also, like, back then, NXT wasn't as on the map as it is now, obviously. And so when they were called, say, hey, this is former NXT champion. When he got called up, we're like, okay. Not really sure what NXT is. But now I know. I know it's amazing.
Greg Morris says, take Kevin Owens out as he is the most likely suspect. Which main roster star will be a traitor and join NXT during this feud?
I guess it still could be Seth. Triple H is making the pitch.
Could be Seth. Yeah, it could be Seth. Let's see here. And here's the thing. If he does it in a really cool way to get teams NXT that victory, which is entirely possible, he can come back to Full Sail a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ryan Luckman, you guys get to pick the next AEW title, and what is the name of it, and who is the first person to hold that title?
TV title. 100% television title.
I'm going to say it's the Capital Combat title, and RoboCop's the first holder of it.
Outta here.
No, dude, come on. Your answer is way too obvious. They love referencing old stuff. They
Exactly.
love referencing old stuff.
Especially old stuff from WCW. WCW, not W. Steve
WCW?
W.
Cool.
Meatloaf title.
Right on. Meatloaf title. That's it. And RoboCop's the first person to hold it. This is a great question from the B-Man, Patrick Sparks. Steve, Larson, Sting, and RoboCop have a weekend for the boys. Mixing it up with the boys.
Well, I say we go to Detroit.
He says for fun.
Yeah. Sure, there's still fun to be had, even though Detroit in RoboCop 1 was kind of falling apart.
That's a nightmare land. I'd do the opposite. I would go to, you know what I'd go? I'd go to Vegas in RoboCop's universe. So you know how like it's near future, everything's bad.
What was that drug in RoboCop 2 called? Nuke?
Yeah. Just get high off nuke.
I guess so.
Get nuked.
Like, apparently that's the only thing to do.
Brain just melts. It'd be great. Well, that's a good question.
We'd fight Omnicorps because they were corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. We join forces with RoboCop and fight crime.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a blast.
Soulhausen says, truly neutral jury would include a Murphy. If you were either Cody or Jericho on Saturday, who would you have appointed as your jury of peers? Well, Cody did. I mean, Cody had his freaking judges there.
Yeah.
They're all pro Cody. If you were Jericho, who would be your...
Ralphus.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
My tummy's grumbling.
Big Show.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Jericho.
Wasn't he tag champs with RVD? Or am I misremembering that? No, Mysterio
RVD,
was.
Yeah, Mysterio was for sure.
Anything else from WCW that Jericho had a program with? Maybe
Where he was like friends with?
kind of.
Allies.
Alex Wright. I don't
Oh,
know.
perfect. No, that's a good one. Alex Wright is a really good answer. Cool. All right. Anyways, those are all good questions.
Great questions. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, hold on a second. AO Worm has one last question here. Will we see Bailey and Sasha go to NXT before SummerSlam? Survivor Series.
Probably not. Probably not. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool though. Probably not. Didn't they have a match there when they were tag champions?
No, it was teased as a thing.
Oh, that's what it was.
They can go anytime to any brand. No, he didn't say that. Who said that? Triple H said that. I forget who said it. They can go anywhere at any time. But then, I mean, they did it with the Kabuki Warriors, so that was kind of cool. Anyways, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We do appreciate it. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.